What is going on, guys? This is the SteelTwins here, giving you guys the preview for the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cincinnati Bengals game day preview. The Steelers, the past two games, they've tied with the 0 and now 9-1 Lions. And last week, they lost in primetime at LA, and they remain on the road to face a foe that they just lost to earlier this season in Week 3, the Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals, man. They are a competitive team. They're not the same team that they used to be years prior.
No, they're not the team that we beaten from 2016 to 2020.
Yeah, until they beat us last year, late in the season, and then they
with
beat
Ryan
us this
Finley
past year.
starting.
Yeah, don't remind me.
And then this past year in Week 3, which was one of the worst performances from the Steelers this season.
So the Bengals have 2 games on us. They have beaten us 2 straight times.
2 straight times.
I don't want it to be 3 straight times.
We cannot make it 3, man. First of all, it is officially Thanksgiving week, and I don't want the Steelers to ruin my Thanksgiving weekend.
No.
I really don't. By the way, happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Hope you guys have a great, safe, fun, and tasty holiday, man. Cherish the family time for sure. Safe travels to anyone that's traveling, and hope you guys have a great holiday. Hopefully the Steelers don't ruin ours.
No, definitely not. But happy Thanksgiving to each and every single one of you.
Yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, you know, I'm going to give you guys a little history lesson, okay? The last time the Bengals beat us more than twice in a row was the time they swept us 3 straight years, between 1988 all the way to 1990.
Over 30 years ago.
Yes. Could you say that the rivalry is about to be renewed here?
I could say that.
Because when I look at this Bengals team, I see a very solid team that is growing. It is incredibly young, and honestly, that's a scary thing. Because that's what you want in a team. You want it to be young. Because these guys are only going to get better. These guys are only going to get more dominant. These guys could be a contender, not only for the division, but eventually the conference. Because obviously the AFC right now is wide open.
Yes, it is. And the Bengals, man, their offense is, I would honestly say, one of the best in the league.
Really?
Joe Burrow, after coming off an ACL tear injury last season, he's come back into this season and had a stellar year with one of his favorite targets back from the LSU days, Jamar Chase. Dominant, amazing rookie.
Who has completely just, it's taken that offense to a whole nother level.
And I think he's the front runner for Offensive Rookie of the Year in the NFL.
Yes.
I think there's no doubt about it. I would love Najee to get it, but let's be real here. Jamar Chase had that in the bag.
No,
Jamar Chase is a hell of an athlete.
Because he's about to hit 1,000 receiving yards as a rookie, and he has 8 touchdowns on the year.
That's insane.
And behind him is obviously T. Higgins, who's going to be a great number 2, and Tyler Boyd in the slot.
And they got a great running back in Joe Mixon.
And, of course, a very quiet weapon is CJ Uzomah, who's had some really good games this past year.
Yes, he has.
So this offense, man, when you look at it, it's really good. Obviously, the offensive line is the weak point, as it always is, as it was. You know, that was the expected part of the Bengals this year, was that O-line for Burrow. And it's actually gotten to Burrow quite often this year, and it's actually forced him to make some mistakes and some turnovers. In fact, he has 11 interceptions on the year, and he's tied for the second most sacked quarterback this year.
So when it comes to the defense, I mean, the game plan is very simple, and it always is against the Bengals, and that's pressure the quarterback.
Which the Steelers have a tendency of doing so, except in Week 3 when they recorded 0 sacks. But that's also because they had T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith out. The starters in that game were Melvin Ingram and Jameer Jones. Both are no longer on the team.
No, they're not. That's actually quite insane and sad at the same time.
So, Alex Highsmith is coming off a sack and a half on Sunday night. And T.J. Watt, fingers crossed, he'll be back. I hope so.
I would like for him to be back, but if he's not 100%, then I won't even force him out there. Because I don't want our most impactful and our most dominant defensive player and football player in general on this team to be hurt again.
Right, or even extend the injury as this stretch gets tougher.
Exactly. You want to make sure this guy is 100% healthy. Good to go.
Because not only do we have the Bengals this week, next week we have the Ravens. Those are 2 AFC North matchups. Very important. Very important. So I guess you can officially say it's Jagoff season.
Well, yes, it is.
Cheap plug. Get your merch at SteelYanders.com.
Indeed.
Which there is a holiday sale right there. So the link to the site is in the description as well as in the annotation above. But, yeah, these are 2 big games coming up. Especially this one, though. One game at a time, obviously, we got the Bengals. That offense I'm looking at is very scary. And the way I look at this defense, man, Although we hopefully will get Watt back, maybe Minka, for sure Hayden, who I believe was actually out the last matchup as well. So we may be getting those guys back, but the defense is still very suspect because the linebackers are suspect, Bush and Schobert. Schobert's up and down. Bush has had a very terrible year.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's going to improve, especially in the running game because Joe Mixon is coming off one of his best games of the year, and our rushing defense absolutely fucking sucks.
Yes, it does.
God bless Cameron Hayward. Shout out to Cam Hayward.
He's the only one really trying.
But the game plan's simple. You run away from Cam Hayward, and the linebackers can't do shit this year. I mean, I'm very worried about what Mixon could do with against this rushing defense.
I mean, of course, all year we have not been able to stop the run. I mean, Austin Eckler owned us. I mean, DeAndre Swift and his backups freaking owned us.
Right. And, of course, that passing attack of the Bengals has been very good this year. And if we don't have Watt in this game, I'm sure we can still pressure Burrow to an extent with Highsmith in there. But at the same time, if you don't pressure Burrow and give him time in the pocket, he's going to sling it to guys like Chase, Boyd, Higgins, who all can get open.
Yeah, if the secondary
can attack this suspect secondary.
Yeah, if the secondary can't do their job, Burrow's going to freaking throw dimes.
Because even with Minka and Hayden in, they've still had blown coverages. They've still left guys wide open. They still have allowed several touchdowns.
Yeah, even with those guys in, no matter how much we can say this defense is good or even sometimes great, they're still suspect against high-powered offenses, and that's what I'm worried about in this game, even if they come back. Like, this defense has to step up. The past 2 games, the defense has not had great performances.
Not at all.
I mean, for God's sake, what happened with the Lions was fucking ridiculous, and I expected that against the Chargers, but that goes to show you, even with guys in or out, the defense can't stop anything. So even with these guys in, they have to do their job. And they have to help the offense.
And we're facing a Bengals team that will face Pittsburgh in their house, is coming off a win against the Raiders, a dominant win.
Yeah.
And this is a very big AFC North matchup where the division is very close. The Bengals are second right now in the division. We're third. So this is a big game.
Yes, it is.
And the defense has to step up. They got to get the Burrow. They got to stop the run. It's a lot easier said than done, especially if some of these guys will or won't be back.
Yeah, and as for the offense, man, whatever was up your ass, whatever
fire was lit under you in the fourth quarter last week, you got to do the same thing.
And for a full 60 minutes.
For a full 60
I don't want to see you guys just perform in the first half, then fall asleep in the second half, or vice versa. Thank you.
Or show up 15 minutes instead of 60.
No, I want a full 60 minutes of that offense from last week's game in the fourth quarter. I mean, there's no doubt that the Steelers showed determination and heart in that game against the Chargers. There's no doubt about it. No one's denying that.
But the fight was a little too late.
A little too late because the offense wasn't consistent and they didn't have the right game plan. And I feel like against the Chargers rush defense that statistically is the worst in the league, we could have set the tone early by running the ball. And I feel like in this game, although the Bengals' rush defense is a little bit better, I actually think it's a lot better, actually.
I think it's, top 5 in the league right now? I could be dead wrong, but they're really good. That defense of the Bengals, they may not have a number 1 corner, or you may not look at their corner core and think they have a number 1. Their defense is really good, and in fact, they had a very dominating performance against the Steelers week 3. Logan Wilson had 2 picks on Ben. And one thing about Ben I want to get into is, yes, he has had 5 straight games without a turnover. Statistically, that looks good. But there's been many that he's gotten lucky that it didn't go the other way. And Ben has to be careful in this game.
Yep.
He has to, because the Bengals will take advantage. Their defense will get the turnovers, and the offense will score the points. You have to be careful with turnovers. Statistically, you've done good not giving the ball away.
But even in those games, made questionable throws in decision-making.
So Ben has to be careful. He's got to make smart reads, smart decisions. You got to get a rushing attack going. The offensive line has to step up, even though they are still banged up. We're going to have Deontay in this game, which we didn't have in week 3. And by the way, I'm not making an excuse that we lost that week 3 game because those guys were out. We had plenty of chances to win that game.
Yeah, we did.
And we got to use that blueprint of what we did wrong in week 3 and completely just change it around in this one. In Cincinnati. We can't lose 3 straight to Cincinnati. We can't lose in a big divisional matchup before another big divisional matchup.
No, we can't.
This offense has to step up. Play calling specifically has to be better because play calling has been very up and down all year. Canada has to do better in this game.
Yes, he does.
And in week 3, man, you know, the game plan was so horrific. It was dink and dunk, dink and dunk. I think Najee had 14 receptions in that game.
I think you're correct.
It was so bad, bro. And one thing I'll give the Steelers offense that we haven't seen all year was we actually attacked the middle of the field last week. So can we see the same come Sunday?
I hope so.
Can we use Claypool in the slot? Can we see Deontay in the slot and use them up the middle? Maybe a Pat Freiermuth. Can we extend the playbook a little bit? Can the play calling improve?
Or can we try to establish a rushing game early, set the tone early in the game, like we didn't against the Chargers? Like, the Steelers' offense in the fourth quarter was great. They did what they could, but they had to because they didn't set the tone early. But whatever was under their ass, whatever fire was lit, they got to play all 60 minutes, and they got to be consistent. Because the thing about this team, and the word that you can describe this team all year, is inconsistency. Whatever was that performance against the Chargers, got to go in Cincinnati and do the same. Full 60 minutes.
Absolutely.
No exceptions. This is a big divisional game, and the AFC is wide the hell open. And the AFC North, I'd say, is wide the hell open as well.
It really is, because the Browns have the Ravens on Sunday night, and that could go either way. Because
yes, it could.
Looking at the AFC, man, good Lord. I mean, the Ravens blew out the Bengals, and the Bengals got blown out by the Browns, and then we beat the Browns. So anything can happen in AFC North football. So AFC North is wide open. We can't have a loss here against the Bengals, especially 3 straight.
No, because we lost against the Chargers. We tied with the Lions. We can't have a second straight loss. We got to come into this game and freaking win.
Especially before another big divisional matchup next week. But we got the Bengals this week, so let's get this fucking win, man. Let's go into shit Cincinnati and do what we've done the last, how many years?
4 years.
What Ben specifically has done the last 15, 16, 17 years.
Pretty much.
In Ohio.
And that's on the Cincinnati Bengals.
Let's do it again, man. Let's get this win against the Bengals. I'm not going to underestimate the Bengals. We've actually praised the Bengals in this game. A rivalry could be renewed, man. You could say the rivalry is renewed, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Because the Bengals are a solid team. I'm not going to underestimate them whatsoever. The defense has to step it up.
Yeah. Coming into this game, I'm not going to be too optimistic. I'm basically going to come into this game the same way I did against the Chargers game. Because, to be honest, I don't know what Steelers team's really going to show up.
Me neither. Like, specifically this defense. I don't know what defense is going to step up. If we get some guys back, that'll be a big plus, but still, guys got to make plays. Defense has to step up, and the offense just has to play all 60 minutes, man.
Yes, they do.
And we got to set a tone early. Because I believe in setting the tone. So let's get this win, man. We got a big divisional game here versus the Bengals. Let's get the win. Let's increase on the division rankings and the divisional record and a conference record, obviously. And let's go into Cincinnati and get a fucking win.
Go 6-4-1. Let's get it, boys. Let's fucking go.
Let's go. Here we go, Steelers. Let us know you guys' thoughts down below, man. Again, happy Thanksgiving. Safe travels. Have a fun, tasty, great holiday. Cherish the family time. Don't go into too many food comas for sure.
I mean, with the games on Thursday night,
You might as well, because Thursday night games are just... Thursday games, the line of the games is just... it's not going to be great. But anyway, you guys have a great holiday. Hopefully Steelers don't ruin our weekend, but we'll see what happens. Here we go, Steelers. Let's get this win against Cincinnati. Here we go. Let us know you guys' thoughts. See you guys in the next one.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace!